The countdown has begun. We are away in 3, 2, 1, and they are off and flying, ladies and gentlemen. Race 2 of this wonderful, wonderful event.
So it looks like TriggerMichael has a personal best of a 127.04, making him 52nd place on Deer Tier. Stefcad with a 135.44, so not bad. Anything could happen. I believe both runners will be attempting the old route.
And for those that don't know what that is they will not be doing any fancy clipping / running around to break the game. They will be going for almost a semi-defined pattern for beating the game. And everyone's favorite space pelican making a mess out of everything. Ridley coming in to say hello. Alright, looks like TriggerMichael is on the way out first. Stefcad will be getting out just a little bit behind him. But again, Saris does not determine everything. Also, as a special reminder for those who are in the United States in general, for this wonderful holiday, happy Thanksgiving to you all. We're glad you decided to spend it with us.
Looks like TriggerMichael has a very respectable series time of 44.93. Stefcad getting hit by the steam there puts him at 42.74, which is still very good.
Yes, and anytime you can get a sub, 20 seconds out of Saris, that's definitely good. Definitely helps you get off and running to a good start, get you in your good personal motivational mood. I know a lot of people who, if they don't make that goal per se, they will automatically do a reset and, start running again anew, but no resets today.
Yeah, how many times do you think you've reset in series?
None, actually. Except for one time when I was actually trying to get under sub 2 hours because I was being, cuckoo. And I reset upwards to 20 times before I was like, that's it. Down with the controller.
Yeah, series. Perhaps one of the most frustrating sections of the game.
Seriously. Like, just between the puffs and the falling rocks on the way out of series, it can really mess with your head and mess with your timing, and if you're not careful enough, you'll hit a couple steams, or, you'll get hit by a rock, or you'll mess up your jump and your ledge grab. Like, all this stuff early on, it's just, here you go, have some frustration!
Ooh, and Mike unfortunately falls in the final pit there.
Yeah, oof. Stefcad there taking a pit at the start, but makes the ground up again. And it's a lot of those little nuances people don't realize makes the biggest difference in some people's eyes. Like the slip into a pit, the unintentionally hitting something on the way down the shaft, taking a puff. All these things that you don't want to have happen that happen. It's like, ah!
I find that, personally, it's not even the time loss that kills me, it's how frustrated I get afterwards. Ooh, and TriggerMichael with a very nice down back, heading into the room with the missiles. Stefcad opting for a safer strat where he just morphs and falls down.
Not a bad alternative. I mean, sometimes if you know what you're doing, you're capable of maneuvering in it. Morph Ball is your best friend, because if you can get used to that tiny little sprite and, the little bit of wiggle worm you have and make it work around like both TriggerMichael and Stefcad just did to get back up from the missiles, it's often your best friend.
Looks like these two runners will shortly be entering what I believe might be the most frustrating room in the entire game, affectionately referred to as the Climb. The thing that I struggle with in the Climb is if you make the slightest error, it's so hard to recover. Let's see how these runners do.
Oh yeah.
TriggerMichael opting for the Behemoth Climb, as it's called, safely, instead of jumping alongside the wall and wall jumping his way up, just hitting every platform and making some very nice ledge grabs.
I honestly think I'll start doing that myself. Me personally, I am a right wall hugger completely through and through. I will sit there and hug the wall, climb up as high as I can, shoot a pirate, continue to climb, shoot another pirate. And I often find myself losing a little bit of time by doing that, so I'm definitely getting inspired to start picking this up again.
Yeah, TriggerMichael has been trying to convince me to do the behemoth climb for months at this point, and I just can't do it. It's I've been practicing the climb for that way for as long as I can remember.
Ooh, Stefcad there, last second, gets a tight little mock ball into the Alcatraz bit.
A little
Trying
bit
to
of
make up a little
spice.
bit of ground.
Both runners with very similar bomb chorizo times.
Definitely. Anything sub 6 minutes and you can consistently pull it off is a very respectable bomb chorizo. TriggerMichael had a pretty decent fight, managed to keep him in the corner, didn't get him to come out too much, get all missile drops, so he'll have full ammunition on the way out. Stefcad is now starting the fight as TriggerMichael heads on flying.
Stefcad getting a bit better RNG on bomb chorizo with the missile drops. TriggerMichael entering Alcatraz, probably one of the most challenging tricks in the game. We're trying to wall jump up there. I know that I wasted several minutes at that point, sometimes.
Oh yeah, Alcatraz is especially not new player friendly. Like, the precision of the wall jumps and the sight of the mock balling, the air morphing you have to do just to complete it through can sometimes cause some unnecessary rage. Especially if you get sweaty palms.
TriggerMichael going for a very stylish damage boost through that door. I don't think it saves a lot of time, but it sure looks cool.
Hey, if you can do it, show it. Alright.
Both runners now heading towards early super missiles. It's a better alternative than fighting Spore Spawn, because it will save a couple minutes on that alternative.
Definitely, and this is where we have one of our first pretty much new player lockouts. This is like one of the first places that most new people are going to start to learn the mock ball, which is done by when you get to the platform, just before hitting the platform, keeping your forward momentum by holding forward, get into the platform and morph as you exactly touch it. That's called a sop morph. And if you can continue to hold run in the direction you're going, you will zip across at a good pace. It takes a little bit to learn, but once you learn it, you'll sit there and go, wow, why did it take me so long to get this? Nice little high five, one going in, one coming out. Does this game have any strats? Loads. Where do we start? A very nice exit.
You'll notice that TriggerMichael just quickly fell through those blocks there. If you turn through crumble blocks as you're falling through them, you are able to fall through them faster. He was able to turn right as he hit them, fall through them, and then jump out the way he came, saving himself just a few seconds.
Very popular strat, especially when picking up the super missiles from the two giant side hoppers later on when you're doing your collection run. So very well done there by Michael.
And I would like to point out, while it looks like TriggerMichael's ahead right now, Stefcad has just, his first two splits appear to be gold. So this could be personal best pace.
There's nothing wrong with that, especially when you do nice personal best runs. Again, though, here's the thing to remember and keep in mind, though. It's not so much Brinstar where the pull-aways start to happen. It's more of just after Craig / going into, you know, alright, am I going to go to Crocomire or am I going to be, you know, crazy and go, you know, go deep and go for the play that I want to make. So, coming through Brinstar, the first, like, 10-15 minutes of a any percent run, or 100% run per se, when you have two racers going off at it, it's just your general item collection for stuff, basically for survival. It's after that that they decide, you know, this is how I'm going to take my path, this is how I'm going to do it, and that's when you really start to see certain people shine in certain ways.
And that's when we get to see all the cool tricks being shown off.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, TriggerMichael with a very nice damage boost going into Spazer.
You know, I can honestly admit I have never been able to pull off a damage boost reliably. Like, I've accidentally done it, I've unintentionally done it, but I've never, per se, physically done it purposely. Like, I'm still trying to figure that one out. I know it's like a certain, like, frame. As soon as you get hit, you have a certain amount of time to react and hit the button in the opposite direction to send yourself sailing, but I can never get it.
It's a little bit tricky, takes some practice, but once you get it down, it saves so much time.
Indeed. Especially in areas like that, coming out of Kraid, going into Kraid. You know, if you want to go risky and you want to go extra cheap, you could always take the, chance and do that to get to X-Ray. Ooh!
Wow, TriggerMichael with the 3 supers into the wall there. He's able to keep his momentum and just dash straight forward across the platform there. Saves quite a bit of time. However, Stefcad is right on his heels.
Indeed, very, very much so right on his heels.
And TriggerMichael has to watch his health right now. 39 health heading into Kraid. He has to make sure he doesn't take any damage, otherwise he will get health bombed.
Especially coming up here, he has to be
Wow,
very, very
Stefcad
careful.
nearly nailing that trick just as well.
And I noticed he was a slight tip off the edge, but he still manages to make the recovery, which is pretty nice. Doesn't have to sit there and go back around and try it again. Here comes TriggerMichael. Let's see if he can pull this off.
Oh, and the Kraid quick kill incoming. Let's see what happens.
Well, that's inventive.
Killing Kraid before he can break the ceiling. Very quick.
I've never seen someone actually do it like that. Fire off missiles as a preemptive and to get his jaw shut a certain way.
Yeah, it's actually the fastest way to do that. If you fire 2 missiles and then 3 super missiles, the timing is very precise, however. Typically, what Neo runners do, hold charge to cause him to lock his claw into place, and then they load him up with 4 super missiles. That is the most consistent way to do it, I find.
I'll agree on that one, because that's usually the strat I go with. But sometimes, if you're not quick enough, thankfully, Stefcad does answer, TriggerMichael's quick kill with a quick kill. But sometimes that can go awry, because if you don't shoot at the right time, you can cause Kraid to shut his mouth prematurely instead of getting stun locked and force him to rise up, which is not good for you, especially when you're in a hurry.
It's very slow, yes.
Alright, both players have opened the fridge, gotten Varia, and now are off to the freezer to pick up their energy tank and move on and downward to Norfair. With very respectable times, too. Almost 13 minutes in.
Stefcad with a 3rd gold split.
Dang, this guy's really going.
Having a little difficulty in the party zone, but he makes such an amazing recovery.
It's always good when you can recover in a tight situation where you've got a lot of things coming at you that ultimately lean lag, but if you can actually get it in your favor, pun intended here, it's favorable. But yeah, I definitely want to bring up at this point in time that I know a lot of players will admit they haven't, but in some way, shape, or form prior to this event ever being announced / made, people have indeed done practice and have gotten themselves prepared for this wonderful, wonderful, showcase of powers.
Yeah, Stefcad with the, he's definitely been practicing. He manages to nail the mock ball as he's going into the elevator there. That was very impressive.
And that's usually a very, very tight mock ball to make, so the fact that he got it, I'm impressed.
I would consider that an advanced strat. I always screw that one up.
Also noticing that there are some more people that are in chat today that are watching for the very first time, also trying to pick up tips and tricks on how to do 100% runs. You are definitely in the right spot, I cannot deny that. We have people of all skill levels, all types, and basically all different strats coming into this one, so you're definitely in the right spot to learn how to do what you need to do here. we can see TriggerMichael here coming up on Bubble Mountain, going to do this wall jump. Cack Attack behaved very nicely for him, so he managed to get through no problem.
Yeah, that Cack Attack, affectionately referred to as the final boss, can tend to screw up your Bubble Mountain, which if you end up falling down that, it's a huge time loss. They are now both heading towards the Speed Booster, which is a very good item to pick up because it makes you go fast.
And that's the name of the game here, going fast. Too bad it can't be as broken as it was in that hack Escape 2, where you could just pretty much use a Shine Spark and control the direction. Then we'd really see some speedrunning. Yeah, Speed Booster, we love it. It's an amazing item. It's really what helps us get going. And it has a nice, awesome secondary ability, the Shine Spark, which, in my opinion, can be underutilized sometimes in a run.
Stefcad with a very nice Bubble Mountain.
Indeed, that Cack Attack behaved pretty much almost decently for both of them. So that's a rare first.
A little bit of a high five in the Bat Cave.
Nothing wrong with that. TriggerMichael will now be heading down to pick up Wave, and then, of course, he'll be heading off to take off Crocamire's head, and then he'll be off and around and going over to see Ida Fantoon. Also, Fantoon, another one of our trickier opponents. He's another RNG-heavy moment, like that Cack Attack. Fantoon has 3 phases, a slow, medium, and fast. You want fast, you want him to be fast, and you pray to never get a slow.
Fast better than a slow in a speedrun.
Indeed. But if you're just going for, like, casual 100% completionist, any speed's fine. But if you're going to, like, set yourself a pace, / maybe you want to get the world record someday, you're gonna need fast.
Another high five coming out of the Wave room. So this room, right before Wave, is pretty difficult, I find. Those platforms there that move up and down, if you turn or ledge grab as you're going through them, you end up passing through them, which makes me more frustrated than anything I can imagine.
Agreed. Even worse is, I don't know the name of the monster on the wall. I know what the one for Lower North Fair is. I don't know the one on the wall there, though. But if you slip and get caught on the right timing of it, he will shoot you and knock you through it, which is kind of redundant in my opinion.
Looks like TriggerMichael heading towards Crocamire.
Definitely won't have any seizures tonight, that's for sure.
Opting for the strat of shooting a missile and then a super missile, trying to get as much damage in as possible.
So the thing about that and why people do that, here's the thing. So base-wise, Crocamire takes 1 step back for each missile, and I think it's 2 for charge shot and supers. Or supers are 3, I can't remember exactly. But here's the
Supers
thing.
are 3.
Thank you. His first shot will always send him back just 1. So if you can hit a regular and a super, and then a regular and a super, you'll send him back 8 steps during the first course of his phase. So that will help you out greatly. And then if you can keep shoving them in, you'll be fine.
Of note, TriggerMichael firing a shot seemingly at random while standing the acid there. The purpose of that is to open the door on the other side there, and what he's able to do is, well, if he nails the Shine Spark, you'll see what happens.
Was he attempting to get a spike suit?
He may have been.
Another one of those way up there tricks. If you can manage to hit the spikes at a certain point in time and hit a morph ball, you can manage to store the Shine Spark. It's another speed boosting trick that has been recently discovered / utilized by 100% runners. See Stefcad here.
Looks like TriggerMichael here actually nailing the Shine Spark. Stefcad going for the wraparound shot as well.
Here we go with one of the more annoying aspects of an 80% run if you don't have a high jump at this point. Trying to get through here is kind of tight, but you can see TriggerMichael having high jump, no problem whatsoever. Stefcad just finishes off. Oof! Had the door open apparently, but I accidentally shine sparked diagonally into the ceiling. TriggerMichael was trying to play Spider-Man off the rippers, but could not quite get it completely stuck.
Yeah, that's too bad. He's going to have to go back and charge another Shine Spark and make his way up there. It takes about 20 seconds, but yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, not bad. He's able to just speed boost around and jump straight up there. Grab it. Nice recovery.
Hey, save that energy.
And it looks like we're about to have another high five.
Wow. That just proves how close this race is going to be right now. Stefcad is doing everything he can to keep on TriggerMichael's heels to the best of his abilities. Ooh! That was a D-boost gone wrong. TriggerMichael accidentally using the spikes to D-boost, but was too low, so he ended up throwing himself into the acid, so that cost him a little extra health than he wanted. Stefcad there opted to Shine Spark up to the missile, so he doesn't have to get it on the way back, and now launching himself over to get grapple. Oh, TriggerMichael wanted to use a Shine Spark to get out of this alley, but accidentally hit the door instead. Ouchie. Now he's stopping to take a well-deserved quick pick-me-up, and they'll be off and running. I gotta say, so far, they're pretty much evenly matched. They've only got like maybe 10-20 seconds between them at the moment, so... Whoops!
TriggerMichael sailing right past the grapple block, able to jump up quickly and recover.
Yes, thankfully he did have that secondary backup, so...
Firing 3 super missiles into the green gate, just making extra sure that it's open.
Open! Oh, it already opened, okay. We can see TriggerMichael is going to come back and get Ice Beam later. Rather smart choice lately out of our runners, because, again, with Ice Beam, it doesn't kill weak enemies. As soon as they get to the right health range where you could kill them, it freezes them instead. So, a lot of people lately have been opting to pass it up. Alrighty, Stefcad makes it across doing the Spider-Man, gets ready to launch open the gate to head back up the elevator. TriggerMichael now is back on climb part 2 coming out of Red Tower.
It looks like he unfortunately did miss the Alpha Spark, so that gives Stefcad another opportunity to make up some time there.
And for those that don't know what it is just yet, so we can explain, the Alpha Spark is the first real Shine Spark in the game you can pull off in the tube section, where the new tube to Meridia is. And what you can do is you get through there, you open the door, you time a shot, and you let it rip, so that way you hit the cack attack, or go over the cack attack, open the next door, and shoot clean over to the bottom base of Red Tower.
Yeah, and TriggerMichael making his way up the Red Tower right there without Ice Beam. Pretty challenging. Ooh, and Stefcad looks like he's going to be going for Alpha Spark right now. Let's see if he gets it.
Oh, denied by the door. He had the lineup perfectly, but he shot a little too late, so unfortunately he took a hit in the face. But it still gave him a little bit of ground catch up to TriggerMichael, so it's not a bad thing. Stefcad trying to time the shot, gets it, so he has a pretty clean up through the named Red Tower.
Yeah. Stefcad, just a flawless Red Tower there. Very impressive. He's able to fire the shot and just follow its way up the tower without hitting any enemies, breaking the block right up there.
TriggerMichael going back to get a couple extra super missiles. He knows what's coming up next. Almost had
Yeah,
another high five with Stefcad there as he goes to pick up his second power bomb.
definitely not a bad idea to pick up more super missiles. That with Fantoon incoming and just the wreck ship segment, probably going to need them.
Another good strategy by TriggerMichael, sending the giant side hoppers to the corner. Ooh, Stefcad looked like he damage boost out of there too. Pretty nice there. But sending the giant side hoppers to the corner and laying a power bomb will let you get the double damage boost off the power bomb, so you can kill them in one power bomb instead of trying to, you know, mess around with them. Considering they can do anywhere from almost 85 to, well, 85 at the highest unsuited to 35 damage completely suited. Yeah, giant side hoppers aren't fun. Oh, for a second there, I thought TriggerMichael was gonna attempt to do a CWJ. But it looked like he decided, whoops, last second, pulled out the grapple beam.
Yeah, normally TriggerMichael goes for the Ocean Fly, where you charge the spark and do a shine spark across the moat. Saves a significant amount of time, but opting for the safer strat of just going for the grapple.
Yeah, he still sails half the ocean anyway, so it's done. So again, Stefcad still nipping at TriggerMichael's heels here, as they're both pretty much just a couple rooms behind each other.
Looks like he's going to go for Ocean Fly. Oh my goodness, let's see if he gets it.
Nah, starts off and gets Moat Fly, so...
And Fantoon is incoming, so really anything could happen. Based on his patterns, based on how successful they are at fighting Fantoon, Stefcad could make up this time here, or TriggerMichael could just pull way ahead.
Well, again, we're going to have to see how loving Fantoon's wanting to be today. I noticed TriggerMichael's turned off Spazer since getting up Red Tower, has Wave Beam on the ready. He is definitely going for... Whoa! Stefcad trying to make up a little extra pace, shoots the door, takes a nice little speedball to the stairwell. As I was originally going to say, TriggerMichael is definitely going to go for the X Factor here. We'll see what Stefcad can come up with in a moment, because I notice he has yet to shut off Spazer. So he might be going for the old Buster or slash full of missiles route.
And I don't like Stefcad's health going into Fantoon here. 137 is a little bit dicey. TriggerMichael with the respectable 275. Of note, Stefcad is 1 minute and 20 seconds ahead of his personal best. And TriggerMichael nailing the first X Factor. Well done, with a fast pattern there.
Decent mid pattern.
Fantoon was very merciful
Got
today.
it.
He missed the first shot, and he comes right back for more. A very nice Fantoon by TriggerMichael. Looks like Stefcad will be going for the X Factor strat.
Dumping what he had left in the reserves into the tank. He has 147, so he's going to have to play pretty tightly. But yeah, TriggerMichael, very nice job there. He had a fast and a mid. Did not quite get him on the reappearance of the mid, but got him on the second route for the mid where he does the flame bombs. Landed both X Factors pretty dang perfectly. Stefcad here getting a slow pattern to start, so it's going to mess him up a little bit, but he's definitely getting some drops in, so that'll help him out a little bit. Looks like the first X Factor completely hit, so that's a definitely good start.
Wreck Ship, one of the most technical sections of the entire game. So the movement here is just so precise.
Yes, Wreck Ship is definitely where technicalities come into play. Stefcad's lining it up. Oh, it went awry. Fantoon went straight over his head.
Those X Factors can be so hard to hit, and if you miss one, those particles fly around, making you unable to shoot for a little while, which is just so infuriating.
I will say this much, though. Stefcad's health does worry me a little bit. I mean, he's back up to 82, but 20 damage from the flames, 30 damage from the body. The things can go very wrong here. So he's going to have to hope for a very quick finish off.
Opting for a Doppler strat.
There we go.
Nicely done. Fantoon is down.
22.
Everybody's least favorite ghost. TriggerMichael making his way across the spiky room of death, aptly named for the spikes and the death.
He just barely avoided sudden death.
Those spikes, if they fall on you, they deal 100 damage, which is a significant amount.
Even worse, though, if you're directly in the line of sight of the platform and it crushes you...
Oh, no. Mike falling into the water, that's going to cost him a bit of time.
Well, that's definitely going to cost them a bit of time, but as we're saying, you get touched by those spikes and they completely crush you. Doesn't matter what you have in the reserve, you're getting crushed. And by crushed, I mean you're dead. Second attempt, TriggerMichael gets the grappling beam off, gets the energy tank, while Stefcad picks up the super missiles that are left behind by Fantoon in the storage. So far, there's not too much separating both these racers. It's very nice to actually see a close match actually being a close match.
TriggerMichael making his way through Spiky Room of Death again. Let's see how he does. And a very clean escape.
Stefcad's turn as they high-five in the doorway, saying what's up.
Is this a record for most high fives in a race?
At the moment, I believe so.
Stefcad, no problems getting through Spiky Room of Death. Well done.
Indeed, flawlessly on the first way through. Let's see if we can get it on the way back. Meanwhile, we got TriggerMichael, who's in the attic, who uses a power bomb to group the first set of enemies, and then gets a very nice executed Shine Spark to nail that one up. Next set out. He actually got them all.
Shine Spark is very precise, and it just looks so clean when executed perfectly like that. He's going to be now shooting those robots, trying to make his way through there, going to try to clip through them if he can.
There we go.
These robots, one of the most frustrating enemies in the game. But he's able to make it through just fine.
Indeed. Definitely clip through the first two, or the last two, so that helps. Does manage to get the clip through again, so that'll definitely help out. Stefcad here, trying to weigh out his options pretty carefully here. Gets the D-boost off the last set of spikes.
Yeah, having a little bit of trouble in the spiky room, but as long as you take it slow, he should be okay. TriggerMichael going for the mountain missiles right now. Let's see if he gets it.
Very nice Shine Spark. Definitely gets it done.
It is, I consider it a bit safer to go for the Shine Spark, but it does drain your health, unfortunately. So let's see if he makes if he's going to have to make a trip to the ship.
Well, we'll see how it goes with bowling and his strat there. That'll definitely determine if he needs a ship. Ooh, Stefcad was trying to answer TriggerMichael with the same strap, and unfortunately missed that one last atomic. So he unfortunately had to double back and take it out. Thankfully, the quickest way to do it is to use the missiles to take him down, so that atomic was no problem. And it looked like TriggerMichael was gonna try for Bowling Spark, but he got stopped just short at the door, so takes one, takes two, he's shooting at the floor, takes three hits.
So TriggerMichael entering the bowling room. This is about 40 seconds where you can just chill and hang out. Personally, my strat for this room is I like to check Instagram and Snapchat. What do you like to do in this room?
Me, this is usually when I check my text messages to realize I got blown up or yelled at.
Bowling, one of the most skill-intensive rooms in the game. Looks like TriggerMichael's taking a sip from his Pepsi.
Anything to pass the time.
So you notice that TriggerMichael was shooting the floor there. That's an attempt to actually hit the robots on his way before he actually makes his way down. Sometimes there's a strategy, a very awkward setup where you can actually hit those robots through the floor and get them to move into those spiky pits before you actually make your way down there, and saves a significant amount of time.
So Stefcad's trying to go for alternative number 2 instead of diagonally Shine Sparking up to this missile. If you can line yourself up with the ledge, you can shoot straight up to get it, but it can sometimes be a little misjudging to make the shot.
He is able to get it, though. Drops a power bomb for good luck.
Nothing wrong with that.
TriggerMichael now picking up the swimsuit.
Nothing like a nice stylish pair of purple trunks to go over your body armor to make you feel sexy.
I do believe with TriggerMichael's health being at 262 right now, he's probably going to go for a ship trip, as I know he goes for the criteria wraparound spark, longest spark in the entire game, drains a significant amount of energy to get it, and you need about 250 to do so.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to be careful with his energy going into the next couple rooms, especially if he's going to take the jump up to the dragon room to get the power bombs, so we'll definitely have to see what's going on.
And it looks like Stefcad entering bowling right now. I wonder what his strat for this room is.
And he's definitely, TriggerMichael here, taking the ship so he can get some energy up, so he's definitely going to get rolling there, get some energy up and running.
I don't mind stopping at the ship there. It usually gives me an opportunity to check that I've collected every item in the game, make sure up to that point, and make sure that I haven't missed anything.
Yeah, especially when you're at this point, the point of the area. It's like, you know, you really need to watch your energy. Very, very carefully.
So you'll notice what TriggerMichael is going to be attempting now is called the wraparound shot. If you you saw this earlier when he was fighting Crocomire. This is a pixel perfect shot. If you stand in a certain location, run and fire a shot, charge shot, run to the other side of the room, it actually opens the door on the other side of the room, allowing you to shine spark directly across like he just did. So very nicely done, TriggerMike. Another gold split from Stefcad. It looks like he's a minute and 30 seconds ahead of his personal best. That's very impressive.
Anytime you can be ahead of your personal best and be in a good position, especially when you're racing, that's definitely a sign of improvement.
Yeah, it looks like TriggerMichael is still significantly ahead. That being said, there are so many opportunities for Stefcad to make up that time.
Oh yeah. There's so many opportunities and coming up, especially for TriggerMichael, that, you know, there could be anything that could go wrong. Especially when it comes into Meridia. You could take the wrong sand pit, you could accidentally get stuck in something, you could run out of energy, you could do something completely dumb. A numerous amount of things can go awry in a run. For me specifically, it's Mother Brain that usually gives me the problems. And then I remember I haven't saved. Yay!
Yeah, Mother Brain, very challenging boss, mostly because there's so many ways to expedite the fight, but there's also so many ways to soft lock during the fight.
Seriously, for every way we found to make Mother Brain's fight easier, we've either found another way to die, thank you Desirec, or we have found a way to completely soft lock ourselves. But yeah, one of the ways you can potentially kill yourself is if you somehow get yourself stuck underneath Mother Brain while you're trying to bust the tank open. If you somehow in the right spot manage to get that last shot in and you're stuck in Mother Brain a certain way taking damage, congratulations, you just took all your life in one shot. It is not pretty.
I think every runner has done that exactly once, and you learn very quickly to stay very far away from Mother Brain. Stefcad going for the wraparound shot. The shot is a little less precise when you have Spazer equipped, so not a bad choice. And it looks like he's going to get the wraparound shot first try, no problem.
Definitely. So that definitely helps. Again, now TriggerMichael is doing the cleanup down below and is getting ready to get out of Brinstar after saying hello to our friendly Edacoons. Let's see if he can pull the mock ball out of this little corner. Not a lot of people can do it sometimes.
Yeah, and this mock ball, very unassuming. It prevents you from falling down that pit. Ooh, and he gets it. Nicely done. Otherwise, you have to jump all your way back up, which costs you about 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah. Definitely don't want to waste as much time as possible. Ooh! Oh!
Stefcad! Oh my goodness, don't do this to me, man.
Double recovery!
That was so intense. So you can see him in the stream just, oh, holy crap. So the issue with that, what he just did, is you have to stand in the center of those 2 blocks. Otherwise, it only breaks one side, and you have to jump all your way. You have to go all the way back around to collect both missile tanks. If you fall in the center there, like he did, no problem. But yeah, very close from Stefcad. Nice recovery.
See if TriggerMichael goes for this one. Nope. Lays the power bomb. He's definitely setting up for something else. So again, that little strat we mentioned about almost a half hour ago when it came to getting the Brinstar missiles, you can also do it there, the little turnaround while the crumble block is going away, so that way you can jump back up of it. It's a cool strat to pull off. You can see everyone now getting, well, TriggerMichael's getting the Spore Spawn skip.
Yeah, skipping Spore Spawn, definitely faster than fighting him.
Yeah, Spospo. The other reason you would go to Spospo is if you have enough time and you have Plasma and you want to taunt your opponent. But, again, you need roam. Again, it looks like both players are just about a minute out of the way of each other in the ways of their pathing and routing so far. So it's pretty nice, once again, just saying, to see a very close race thus far, where both players are doing their very best to stay pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah, Michael with a very significant lead, but that being said, this race is still very close, with Stefcad hitting every one of these splits is basically gold at this point. There is only one of his splits so far that is not, so he's definitely on PBE pace. Nails the mock ball, nicely done.
Ooh, Stefcad there, just an inch away from saying hello to the Cora, makes a quick jump at the end and turns it into a nice little speedball to keep his momentum. So again, every frame counts. Might as well save him somehow. I will say this though, I think it's quite amazing that so many people, even though it is Turkey Day in the US here, have come out to watch these incredible people put it all on the line just for the sake of our entertainment. Here we go, Stefcad setting it up, gonna do Spospo skip himself.
So a little oddity about skipping Spore Spawn using this method, you have to scroll the screen a certain amount. Otherwise, the super missile block doesn't load from the other side of the room. So you see him doing a little bit of a setup there to try and get it. Able to get it on his 5th try, not bad. I've definitely got it my 20th try a couple times, which is very disheartening.
I definitely know that I have a specific spot I can stand in every time reliably when I come into a certain spot in the room and just got it. Which is what's nice about some of these tricks, is if you have a certain spot that you know works, stick with it. If you can find out you can make it closer than that, or, you know, sooner than that, whatever you need to do, stick with that too. That's the nice thing about Super Metroid, to the point is that it's so optimized that our runners are pretty much, if they have not found these spots, are starting to understand these spots and are starting to get it. As we can see now, TriggerMichael has now just broken the noob tube and is now heading into the backside of Meridia.
Yeah, and it looks like he's probably going to be attempting a short charge in order to get the Main Street missiles right here. Fun fact about these missiles, me and Mike have been playing this game together since we were about 6 or 7 years old. We were never able to get these missiles when we were that young. I got them when I was about 9 or 10, figured out how to hold the charge from the previous room, called him up as soon as we got it, and was like, Mike, we can get 100% now. Now we can do it in about an hour and a half, so times have changed.
Yeah, I was unfortunately that kid that would clock in about an average 3-hour time limit. even in trying to do 100% when I was younger, but thanks to pretty much recent videos and just watching all these different people, I'm now roughly about 150. I just gotta really put forth the effort and actually do the 150. And thankfully, thanks to watching these people, I definitely see where my routes can change and where I can actually get an advantage on some of the mistakes I've made, so I can definitely see me dropping a couple 20 minutes sooner or later. I do gotta say though, without a doubt, for as far as like early strats go, the one thing that probably would detract me from the new route is just the sole factor of trying to make things work. Like, I've seen the new route and I've seen the old route, and like, with new route, you have to do the ice clip. Never done that, so that's on the list of things to do. Some point I want to learn the reverse slinky. Another point, I also want to learn how to get my shine sparks pretty much almost on command. Like, I have a good understanding of how to do stutter taps, but it's just, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, Super Metroid, very optimized and very precise in the tricks that you have to perform. TriggerMichael going through what might be one of the most frustrating rooms in the entire game. I find there's no fast way to get through here. You just kind of gotta do it.
Yeah, the watering hole passage is just blah. It's a whole nother level of destructive crap.
Looks like Stefcad entering Meridia right now.
Yep, breaking the glass, jumping up, and heading in. Meanwhile, TriggerMichael down inside the watering hole, getting a drink of the super and the regular missile, is now off and running.
Stefcad getting a very nice short charge and getting Main Street missiles first try. Nicely done. It looks like he has been practicing.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. We have, again, we've started out this tournament with players from all different skill levels. And, you know, it's amazing to see how many of them have physically improved themselves in such a short period of time. I mean, I know especially for TriggerMichael here, he was our first match to start off the tournament, and what a daunting order he had that definitely, you know, got him to focus and improve very, very fast. Was he had to face Behemoth as his first match in the round robin, so I think at that
Behemoth
point,
only having second place in the world, so no small task to be facing him first.
Oh yeah. So at that point, you're definitely being forced to come up to par per se in your skill and how you're going to handle things. So I think that match has since then propelled him to want to do stronger and better in every single match he's done, and it's really starting to show.
Yeah, TriggerMichael making quick work of bot's boom there. Going for the... I know he's going to attempt to go for the full halfy here. Oh, but he, unfortunately...
Out of time.
I can see his frustration on the stream. Misses the halfy. That's going to give Stefcad a little bit of time to catch up.
Yeah, the halfy and the full halfy. They're both amazing strats to pull off, but they're very frustrational when you miss them.
They're also so precise.
Oh, super, super precise.
Like, Stefcad picking up crab supers right now.
Honestly, I think I tried that strat like 50 times one day, and it was on the 50th attempt when I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, you know what, just and I also found
I do appreciate the sound effects.
I try. I want you to live the moment.
Looks like TriggerMichael entering Dragon right now. Dragon, one of the more frustrating bosses in the game. Let's see which kind of strategy he's going to go for. You can either attempt to Shine Spark her, as she is the only boss vulnerable to the Shine Spark, or you can get grabbed by her and then grapple the little electrical outlets on the wall, which will fry her to death.
I like to saute my shrimp. I don't know about anyone else.
I believe TriggerMichael going probably for the consistent strat of grappling her, but ooh, it looks like he's going for something a little more ballsy here.
He started out with an X Factor Shine Spark in. Now he's just pumping off that grapple beam, hoping to get a lucky shot off here. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to take a trip all the way up. There we go.
Yeah, I don't believe that you can actually hit the first outlet there, and you have to wait for the second one. Grapple beam making quick work of Dragon.
Sometimes if you can actually get the right angle when you're on the ground as you're being grabbed, you can angle up and get it done, but
That is true, yes. It's very precise, unfortunately.
Again.
One of those things about Super Metroid. Again, very precise.
You know, I gotta say I've noticed that ever since switching from the double anti-bingo, which was not too long ago, to this 100% tournament, we've replaced words such as synergy and synergistic with precise and precision.
I wonder how many times I've said precise on stream at this point.
I've lost count.
Looks like Stefcad going for an early aqueduct cleanup right there.
Hey, one less trip you gotta make, but at the same time, we might get a high five out of the process. How many of those have we had this run?
Is this a world record for high fives? I wonder.
I'm pretty sure someone's gonna go find out just because they're curious. Yes, at this point, thus, I don't think it needs to be said, but I'm gonna say it anyway. If you like what you're seeing out of these two amazing runners right now, folks, please, 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 do give them a follow. They're putting on quite an amazing show for us. As Stefcad here, nice X Factor on Batoon. I almost called it Fantoon.
Could you imagine having to fight Fantoon again? Please, no. Making quick work of Batoon in 3 rounds. Not bad.
Definitely not bad at all, considering how fast that Sea Snake can really hustle some days. TriggerMichael there playing a little bit of Plinko with his food there, getting the snails out of the way as he enters the first sand pit for the first cleanup.
He is able to get the quick fall through those sand blocks. So if you turn as you were falling through those blocks, you will fall at a accelerated rate. But as soon as you hit those sand blocks, they slow you down quite a bit. So if you are able to turn right as you hit them, it saves you quite a bit of time.
Again, the more you know. Alrighty, it's definitely time for everyone's favorite room in the game, the coffee break. Also known as the final boss of Hyper Metroid, also known as Shack Tool. God bless Shack Tool.
This room is another really great opportunity to check your Instagram, check your Snapchat, your Twitter, your Facebook.
Use the facilities, make a sandwich, get a cup of coffee, make a cup of tea, get some hot chocolate, call your grandma who only talks for 5 minutes, you know.
Yeah, recently I enjoyed reading through War and Peace while I was in this room. That was a very good time.
If you're reading War and Peace while you're waiting for Shack Tool to pass by, bravo.
It's a long room.
I'm not denying that. Looks like Stefcad here was trying to get something going, but is now stuck with Dragon whipping him. Not in the way he appreciates. But he quickly turns the table and fries her. Stefcad there, nice damage boost off the electrical outlet, trying to, get all the energy and pickups he can. Grab space jump while TriggerMichael has just gotten back with spring ball. And having a little bit of trouble, makes an oops dive into the sand as he's trying to back up so that way he can get a little speed through the room as he space jumps through the sand.
Yeah, that room, you want to carry your momentum all the way through there because there's no opportunity to pick it back up.
Oh goodness no, falling into the sand there is just rip frames. As you can see, TriggerMichael hitting the express elevator. He's now going to go get plasma while Stefcad now exits the watering section.
Yeah, and it may look like Stefcad is significantly behind. That being said, he has already cleaned up Aqueduct, so he doesn't have as much time to make up as it may seem. Stefcad's still hot on his heels.
Oh yeah. Yeah, here comes Stefcad now again. As you just mentioned, Aqueduct is cleaned up, so he just has to get through the sand pit, get Spring Ball, and get the second sand pit. TriggerMichael here still has to clean up the Aqueduct, so this could be the point where Stefcad could make up some ground. Very nice Shine Spark for TriggerMichael there, using it to get through the blue Cack Attack room.
I don't know if it saves any time, but it sure looks nice.
Oh, it definitely looks nice, but, if there was any time
Wow,
saved...
a flawless Cack Attack alley from Mike. That was unbelievable. That room's so challenging to get through, so precise. Just unbelievable movement right there.
If there was any time saved, it was about 0.5 seconds. Having a little trouble there is Mike trying to get the quick fall down as Stefcad enters the coffee break chamber. What else could you do with the time that Shack Tool takes to clear the room? You could clean a room, make your bed, feed your dog.
Sometimes I like to meow at my cat and see if she meows back in that time. She usually doesn't.
Play a couple notes on a guitar. Send an email. Tell your boss you're not going into work.
Ha! Yep.
That should be something we do from now on. We should just make a list of things randomly that you could do in the time it takes Shack Tool to get to the end of the room. This is true. You could go out and have a quick smoke, and you could go out and have a stretch.
Yeah, I would say that actually the biggest challenge in the Shack Tool room is not falling asleep.
Agreed. Like, it's nothing against Shack Tool, it's just... Well, it is against Shack Tool. You're boring, man. I think that's the first time I can actually say I've looked at an enemy and said it's boring. Then again, at this point, with the amount of hacks that have been made about Super Metroid, yeah.
So it looks like Mike will be picking up the Kraid missiles early.
Not a bad strat. It prevents you from forgetting about them. But the only trade-off is now you gotta remember to get X-Ray.
How many 99% runs have you had where you've forgotten Kraid missiles?
None.
None? That is amazing. I have had significantly more than that, and it's very disheartening every time.
You know what I forget?
X-ray scope? Nicely done.
Seriously, had a run that was about to be a solid 150, turned out to be a 151. I was like, yeah, I got this. Really working on this. 99%, and then I load the file back up. It's like, crap, X-ray!
It's a good 99% PB, not bad.
I know, right? And jokingly speaking, well, speaking out of a joke here, there's one person who actually has a split that says 99% done, thanks X-ray. I don't remember who it is. Ugh. It looked like TriggerMichael was trying to go for a swag speedball bounce to get through to Ice Beam here, but did not quite get it the way he wanted to.
Yeah, that strat, very precise, saves a significant amount of time, however. Stefcad making his way through Cack Attack Alley, going for a nice little D-boost there.
Pulls off
Farming
the
a little
D-boost.
bit of super missiles. Oh, he's going right ahead.
Whoops. Was that intentional? Nope. Actually, yes, it was. It looked like TriggerMichael was just going to go straight on blasting through there, but he stopped short and thought about it and went, wait, the wallflower!
He does need to collect those missiles if he wants it to be 100%.
Yeah, this is off. This is the other important thing that people forget about. Like, I can speak for
One of many.
Oh, one of many. Like, when it comes, like, specifically when you're running randomizers, those are the type of places you would never think to look. The final missile in the game, the top room of Old Blue Brinstar, the wallflower there, the wreck ship energy reserve. You know, those places in general are places people usually tend to forget. Including Crane Missile. All of our players doing very decently right now, definitely keeping up the best they can.
TriggerMichael does have a significant lead over Stefcad right now, but again, anything could happen. There are so many places that Stefcad can make up this time.
Alrighty, now to flush Golden Chorizo's back alley so we can get down inside.
Stefcad opting to grab Crane missiles early.
Again, hey, it's one of the 5 big oops moments, so why not save yourselves the problem?
TriggerMichael wisely opting to morph and springball across the chasm there. If you springball and just hold A, it prevents you from falling through there. Otherwise, you have to time your jumps very precisely. And if you manage to fall through there without picking up those missiles, you have to go all the way back around. Another one of those big oops moments.
I have to take a moment and laugh. I cannot directly say this on stream without there being some controversy. But TriggerMichael has a very interesting split coming up. It's kind of aptly named.
He'll be grabbing the screw attack and screwing his way through some blocks.
Yep. Just another day in the offset of screwing stuff up. Because screw attack is wonderful. And had just enough time to get the speed booster off.
Looks like he didn't get screwed there.
Nope. Thankfully, him and Screw Attack are being friends right now. Stefcad here, getting Ice Beam himself. TriggerMichael. It looked like he was trying to go for fast pillars using Speed Booster, but hits the brakes and starts screwing through them.
TriggerMichael going through what is affectionately known as the worst room in the game. That's because of any percent. In 100%, it's really not that bad. We have Screw Attack. He does have to be careful, though, about these crumble blocks. If he falls through them, that is, again, a significant time loss.
Oh, yeah. That one spot there is very, very tight. If you end up hitting the crumble blocks, you fall down and have to go back around. Thankfully, with Screw Attack, though, it's a lot easier than it needs to be, than it really is, so...
Yeah, you can see him taking just a few seconds there to set up, just so that he doesn't fall through there. Very wise choice, especially in a race. You want to do everything as consistently as you possibly can.
Oh yeah, you definitely do not want to accidentally throw yourself down a hole that you can't get out of. Stefcad there, very, very nice thought process. Charges up a charge shot, have it on handy so that way he can pseudo screw through the shots there without taking damage. Here we go. TriggerMichael is now in the Ninja Pirates room. Make short work of them. Meanwhile, Stefcad flushes Golden Chorizo's toilet to clear out the acid.
I don't know the name of that room, but I heard Keku call it the lavatory the other day. I don't think that was intentional, but I think that's hilarious.
Hey, gotta add humor.
Looks like TriggerMichael just now entering Ridley. He's going to pump him full of super missiles and then probably go for some plasma shots.
Hey man, he shoots you with fire, might should shoot him with lasers and supers. Meanwhile, we have Stefcad, who's doing his own pumping and taking out, almost said himself, wow. Taking out Golden Chorizo with a double plasma shot.
Yeah, and you'll notice he's crouching right next to the Golden Chorizo and facing upwards. That allows him to actually strike Golden Chorizo twice with every shot. Very nicely done.
Wow, TriggerMichael, just hand yourself to Ridley, why don't you? TriggerMichael literally jumping into Ridley's hands to present himself like a Chozo statue orb, and brings Ridley down to earth with that. Alright, TriggerMichael just cleaned up the space skeleton, or space pelican, and turned him into a space skeleton. Because I can talk.
Looks like Stefcad going for fast pillars. Very bold strat. Nicely done. Perfectly executed.
Very nicely
Entering
done.
the worst room in the game. Not so terrible with Screw Attack, though.
I still maintain that Spiky Room of Death is the worst room in the game in 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I gotta point this out while people are here. Especially on Stefcad's screen here. A lot of people refer to this as Mickey Mouse Missile, and I can understand the shape and all, but I will say this from my own personal perspective. It looks like Ridley's heart.
Ridley doesn't have a heart.
I know, that's because we robbed its missile. TriggerMichael is definitely making some excellent use of damage boosts here. He keeps this up, he's definitely going to go for what he's wanting to get. He's trying to get sub 125, and he's definitely on the path for it. Now Stefcad will be heading down to take his chance at, Ridley.
Making sure to pick up the power bombs of shame. Not so shameful in 100% as they are required.
Oh yeah, they're not, well... If you're out of power bombs, and you have to pick them up then, yeah, they're shameful. You know, I don't know when this joke came around when I was just chilling with some guys from the MechCon server one day. But we were doing a randomizer and we entered this room. One person's like, "Hey, where you at?" "Oh, I'm at the Ninja Pirates." And then instinctively, I don't know who it was, but someone's just started humming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original theme song. Like, I can't help but think about it now. The Metal Pirates and now forever Teenage Mutant Ninja Pirates. Because crazy reasons. TriggerMichael picking up the missiles from... Honestly, it looks like a hat.
I believe that room is affectionately referred to as the Franker Z room, or what is it, Franker Z missiles?
It looks more like a hat than it does Franker Z. I'm just saying.
Stefcad wrapping up Ridley right now, while TriggerMichael escaping Lower Norfair.
Let's see if he'll jump into Ridley's arms looking for love too. Opting to keep all of his supers in the tank. Oops, thought he had him. Accidentally gets picked up and thrown back down unceremoniously after being whipped in the butt. Definitely not a good feeling, especially when you got 1,000 spikes on the end of that tail.
I believe Ridley should be dead at this point. If he just jumps into his arms, Ridley will die.
Or Ridley will just explode because he's whipping thin air. That works.
Yeah, so Ridley, the thing about Ridley is once he falls below 0 health, he actually swings around a few more times and he tries to pick you up a few times. If you jump into his arms, it's actually the fastest way to end the fight.
I mean, hey, whatever saves time, you know? So I don't know if there's a name for this strat here, but a lot of people lately will, on the way out to this run room here that Stefcad's in, will bounce off the walls just between the spikes and get themselves up quicker.
This room is referred to as the Wasteland.
Wasteland, thank you. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I just make up names as I go sometimes. Like, I know they all have names affectionately given to them by speedrunners, but sometimes I look at a room and go, you know what? It felt like this to me.
Stefcad still 1 minute and 30 seconds ahead of his personal best.
Definitely a good thing. And if TriggerMichael keeps up this pace, he's definitely on target for a sub 125. So, again,
let's see if he remembers to pick up X-ray scope.
I know, right? Yeah, in before we forget X-ray, and in before we get the 101th missile. Well, he's remembering X-ray. Your attack makes this room so much easier. Already, Stefcad is picking up his last power bomb in Lower Norfair. He'll now be making his escape out through to clean up the rest of Norfair and then head out to Brinstar to catch up to TriggerMichael, who is now coming back in from Red Tower to Green Brinstar. And you know what? I honestly want to admit this out loud. I want to see one person pull off a reverse slinky all the way through this.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I can hope. That trick, probably the most challenging trick in the entire game. For those unaware, requires speedballing through the green hill zone there.
You know, just realizing this, we named a room after a Sonic level.
There are worse things to name after a room after.
I'm going to shut up.
It's okay, I walked into that one.
That's what she said. And now for the most forgotten thing ever in an any percent run, the top of Blue Brinstar.
TriggerMichael now heading towards the Billy Mays missiles, but wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. There's always more. Thankfully for TriggerMichael, that was his last thing down here. All he has to do is pick up his last 2 missiles and 1 super, and he should have 100%. By last 2, I meant 3, because I can count.
TriggerMichael going for the spark. Let's see if he is able to keep this into the next room here.
Well, he's got it stored, so we'll definitely see what's going to happen here. While Stefcad now starts to make his way through... I don't even know what the room is called. B-Tom Hell.
Oh, and he just barely misses the spark. That's too bad.
Yeah, that spark is kind of touchy.
Again, very precise.
Again, precision and accuracy are the name of the game, especially at this point.
Yeah, and with both of these runners being at such a high skill level, every frame counts at this point.
Oops. Accidentally turned it on X-ray.
Making sure there's no items there, turns out there's not.
Nothing wrong with that. Always good to do a safety check. Here we go with Stefcad here. He's now getting X-ray himself. And then he'll have the rest of Brinstar to clean up, and then he'll be done as well. So it's almost good for both players. And shoutouts to whoever figured this out, because for some odd reason, someone actually had to tell us the number the other day. The 101th time you've heard the fanfare.
We'd like to thank you for joining us for 7 minutes of item fanfare.
Is it 7 or 11? The number keeps changing.
I believe it's 7, but the point is, it's very excessive.
Oh, it is excessive. Just because I can. So it's 7 seconds per fanfare. There's 101 times it happens. That's 707 seconds.
TriggerMichael now entering the Golden Four, affectionately known as the waiting room.
Here's another
What's
good
your
chance
strat
to
for the
get a
waiting
drink.
room here? What do you like to do in this room?
Oh, get a drink, use the facilities, make sure I'm not behind on my splits, see if I have to reset, check my text messages and emails.
Yeah, usually I like to jump around and spring ball and try to lay bombs into the statue's eyeballs. You can see TriggerMichael doing an amazing job of hitting Redley's eyeball right there. Stefcad still cleaning up. Blue Brinstar making his way.
He's looking like he's on PB pace too, though, so it's not bad.
Still a minute and 30 seconds ahead. Very respectable.
Both players very respectable.
Let's see how TriggerMike's Turian is. Turian, one of the most challenging segments in the game to do so well.
Oh yeah.
Nice grouping strats from TriggerMike there.
Definitely making good, quick, short work of the Metroids here. Definitely trying to keep on pace. Stefcad just getting into Billy Mays. Looks like TriggerMichael was trying to go for a quick third room. Unfortunately caught himself up a little bit, so...
Going for grouping strats in the fourth room as well.
Not a bad strategy. Especially in the fourth room, you have all that room to use with the Morph Ball to make it work. Again, Morph Ball being our best friend to help us out here.
And TriggerMike will be going for Metroid skip in this upcoming room here. I believe if he gets it, he's on pace for a personal best.
Oh yeah. But again, there's so many ways this can just go to the wayside.
Metroid skip, one of the most challenging techniques in the entire game. You have to just lure the Metroid around and make it jump around in such a way that it doesn't catch you and exit the room without it touching you. Ooh, and unfortunately the Metroid latches onto him. He's a very nice strategy though, remembering to turn off Varia Suit, which allows the Metroid to drain him at twice the speed.
Oh yeah. You definitely want to get that drain going as soon as you can if you're going to miss it. So if you know for a fact, like, going into the room, you're, like, gonna miss it, the quicker way to do it, shut off all your suits.
I believe it's just Varia that you need to shut off. Also, he remembers to face right, and when you're facing right when the Metroid leaves you, it does save you 40 frames.
You get up sooner. Good.
You'll also see him turning off Screw Attack. That's for when he makes his way through the Zeb skip. It's the most consistent way to do it, and we'll see just how it works when he gets to that point.
Amazing to see how many players can actually come into this area of Torian having a full 230 sets of regular missiles. TriggerMichael here having a bit of trouble with the first Zebetite skip here. Well, the only one, rather. Just, it's being quite a pain in the butt. There we go. Again, using that magical clipping of the enemies to get on through. Stefcad is now on his way to Golden 4.
TriggerMichael placing himself in Mother Brain's jar with her.
Yeah, that's a very scary place to stay and be, especially if you're going to shoot her off down there. You definitely don't want to make the mistakes.
So there's a couple nuances about the Mother Brain fight. He's going to be going for the stand-up glitch, which allows you to, when the game is forcing you to just stand there and get healed by the Metroid, you are actually able to move around if you manipulate your health in such a way. But the scary thing about that glitch is there's a lot of ways to soft lock the game when you're doing it, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing scary happens here. We've seen a couple runners get very close to soft locking at this point.
Yeah, Subarov straight up admitted to it the other day in his race. He got down to the point where he accidentally got latched on by the Metroid and was stuck in a down phase while holding charge when the Metroid exploded, so he was kind of close to shooting himself in the foot. Alright, TriggerMichael got the stand up. Stefcad is now coming down the elevator.
Yep, finally made his way through the waiting room. He is 2 minutes ahead of his personal best right now. Nicely done.
And just to give people a kind of a rough estimate idea, we are officially an hour and 25 minutes SRL time into this race, and both players are in Torian. So, it's amazing to actually see this kind of happening.
You'll see TriggerMichael, he's shooting Mother Brain while she's down right now. It's that's the standard up glitch. It allows her to take a little bit more damage before entering the third phase of the fight.
And if you can pull it off here with some pretty good shots, we had earlier, Jighard did it. He actually got Mother Brain to completely miss the baby Metroid a lot. So he ended up getting in all 40 shots he needed, so that way when it came time to use the Hyper Beam, just one rip. See the baby Metroid glitching out a little bit here. Mother Brain's color's starting to change, so he's getting close.
TriggerMichael playing it safe here.
Not a bad choice. Stefcad trying to go for broke here, trying to get as much damage as himself done as possible before the latch happens.
Yeah, so it looks like he will not be going for Metroid skip, which, you know what, not a bad choice. You got to do what's consistent in a race. And with the head drop there, I believe that will be the race for TriggerMichael.
Don't say that just yet. There is always something that can go wrong in a run.
Stefcad, unfortunately, forgetting to face right. I mean, yes, the one thing TriggerMichael could do at this point is, if he saves the animals, he will be disqualified.
Oh, please. Save the animals. Save them for steaks. Besides, think about it. Edicoons make great steaks, decors make great chicken. You know? Think about the food quality.
Looks like it.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So unfortunately, he's not going to get that 125, but he's definitely going to get a respectable sub 130, so he's getting that one extra step closer.
It also appears wisely choosing not to save the animals much faster and will allow him to stay in this race.
And if it is indeed 100%, which we're more than positive, he managed to shave off 2 minutes and 11 seconds off his personal best.
I believe this is for his SRL time. His personal best is about a 126, I believe. However, he did manage to finish up with a 128.22 SRL time. Very nicely done, Mike.
Alright, so we'll know for sure soon enough, but definitely, good job. And just as one person is escaping the planet, the other one is starting the countdown timer very soon.
Stefcad going for the stand-up glitch.
Pumping in some extra missiles, trying to go for a magical number, maybe. Gets to stand up off. Ooh!
Cutting it real close there, Stefcad.
Accidentally
Don't
triggered
scare me like
revert.
that.
Don't take more damage. Don't take more damage. Oh, thank goodness. Oh! Well, dang. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Samus being locked in the ground like that?
Actually being able to use Morph Ball to get out of that? Just
Yeah, there's that's one of those ways that you can soft lock it when you're in there. There's so many ways that you can soft lock during Mother Brain stand-up glitch, so I usually like to just stand there and play it super safe. Cutting it real close, however.
And now to unload some free shots. Because we like free. You know, it's kind of weird to be listening to the credit music while we're watching Mother Brain get unloaded on. Kind of satisfactory in a way.
Get your deer forces ready in the chat.
Oh yeah, get your Deer Force and your congratulations ready again. Shooting off a couple extra victory shots into the middle of nowhere to help expedite the power bomb. That is the time bomb.
Trigger Mike with 100%. That looks like it will be his race.
Again, confirming with the 100%, TriggerMichael clocks in with a 1:28:22 SRL time. So that's a very respectful time for him. Who Stefcad
with a
now is
behemoth spark.
coming up on the end of his run here too. No.
Well, it looks like Stefcad will be disqualified from the tournament for saving the animals. Is that right? Is that how that works?
No, you're just very much so disliked by the chat, and well, actually, it doesn't look like anyone's disappointed. So,
Very sorry to hear that.
Okay, here it comes. There comes the disappointment.
Still manages to PB. Not bad. With a 133.08, that's very nicely done, Stefcad. Clocking in with an SRL time of 133.09.
I think that's the closest I've ever seen an SRL time actually be accurate. Well, with someone splits, that is. Alright, so we just got one more stream of credits to go through, and then we'll know for sure. But nonetheless, it was indeed a PB for Stefcad, so congrats.
If you haven't already, make sure to follow the runners. We got TriggerMichael and Stefcad here. And in, I believe, about an hour or so, we have another race upcoming, and that is between, let me check. That will be between The Dude, 9005, and Paul S'more, being commentated by Cerberoth and Matrick. So that's going to be very exciting. Make sure to stick around for that.
As always, if you liked what we were doing here, I'm your commentator, Secret Who's, and I've been joined by...
Christofalo.
We also have our personal Twitches up in there for the commentary, so if you like what we did and you like our combination, give us a follow too. Because, hey, love everybody. So once we get through here, we have a race coming up in 50 minutes here, and I'm not sure if it's going to be here or on SRL. I'm pretty sure the head of Speed Gaming can correct me in a couple seconds, but there's also some more DKC2 coming up shortly, so we'll know soon enough.
Looks like the next race will be on this channel.
Well, all I know is for now, ladies and gentlemen, get your deer forces ready again, because why not? Twice is nice.
Looks like Deer Force is coming up right now.
$100. So
Looks like both TriggerMichael
stick.
and Stefcad with the 100%. Nicely done. Again, make sure to follow the runners. It's TriggerMichael and Stefcad. And thank you for commentating with me today, Sacred Hooves. It was a pleasure.
Definitely a pleasure to commentate with you too, man. Again, just as a reminder, coming up shortly, we do have another match at 9 o'clock. Again, the Dude 9005 and Paul's Mar. They're from Group Goop Spark. Try saying that 5 times fast. And the commentators for that match will actually be Cerberoth, who will be coming back to join Matrick2298. So, Metroid your cup of tea, stick around. We'll be back in about 48 minutes. Donkey Kong Country 2 is your cup of tea. I do believe it's going to be over on SRL. They still have another race going. So, that being said, I got nothing else unless you got something. Alright, well, for all of us for now, see you in about 50 minutes. And as always, see you next mission.